Hey guys, I'm Dalek44 and I'm bringing you another commentary, and this one's on the Sekiko episode Gold, based on the Magic Roundabout episode of the same name. And like the other Magic Roundabout stories I've adapted for Sekiko and TTT, this was one of my favourite ones, and after a few years I really wanted to do a Sekiko episode based on it. In the original short it has Dougal and Brian looking for gold, and of course it would make sense in this one it would be Sek looking for gold, and having Slovene as his dim-witted companion. Because I don't think we've had an episode of Sekiko where it's just Sek and Slovene for a while. Because most of the episodes are just all of the gang together, and it's quite rare that you see just one or two of them in an episode. And I thought it'd be nice to have more dim-witted antics from Slovene, because most of the stuff we see with him is just him having a cunning plan and his terrible cooking in recent episodes. So this is really the chance for him to get back in the spotlight, as they say. And the whole episode is really just set in the park of Celebwood, despite the other scenes being in the cave, and of course this flashback with Star Wars related flashback of Sek having the role of Jabba the Hutt, except he's not Jabba. And for those of you who may remember, this was based on a little bit of artwork I did on DeviantArt for Star Wars Day on May the 4th. And after some hard thinking I just decided to turn it into a sketch for an episode. And this was the episode that the sketch was made for. Yeah. And you might not have noticed in the behind Vader and Tarkin and the Stormtroopers in the flashback, the Doc Warner and Carbonite. And I didn't do that out of like hatred or anything. It was really just to make fun of how Sek gets really annoyed by Dot, and thought like if in this universe Sek would actually do something about Dot. Yeah, it was just sort of making fun of that little thing. And I should talk about the gold detecting machine's sounds that it makes. The whole bloop bloop bloop. Yeah, that was actually me doing the sound effects for the machine. Just basically me doing the bloop 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 sort of thing. Yeah, pretty lazy, I know, but I think it's more fun to try and make your own sound effects with your own voice and tongue. Yeah, I just think it's more fun to do that sometimes. And when Sek was about to dig the hole, I was gonna try and find like a pitchfork, like a miner's pitchfork, but I couldn't find one, so I just decided to use a brush instead, just for a laugh. Yeah, I just decided to use a brush. Yeah. And with that flower that was tipped over and then put back upright, I actually didn't notice that until after I'd finished the shots with Slovene, and I just couldn't be bothered to redo them. Yeah, I was just being really lazy and couldn't be bothered to redo them. It's an example of my laziness. And I've had comments from Boris Fango, who voices Unikitty in this episode, saying how my stop-motion animation techniques have gotten better over the years. And I really thank you for that comment, Blake. Like with this episode, I really wanted to try and get the movements of the characters as similar to the movements of the original characters as possible. So while I was doing the stop motion bits for this episode, I was actually going back on my computer and rewatching the actual episode of the Magic Roundabout to get inspiration for the movements of the characters. Because I wanted to get the movements as accurate as possible, with a few new added things, like this bit here where Sek falls on Slovene. Yeah, and I really do admire my own animation techniques in these later years. It really has gotten better over the years. Because back in the old days I would just like really rush the movements and just have them go like sort of thing. Like just really fast movements and nothing more. But these days I take a lot more time with the stop motion. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting better as the years go on.
Hey guys. Hey Cyber.
And then Cyber and Unikitty, of course, show up, taking the Florence role of the episode. Like where she shows up at the very end and they talk about the hole in the park. And, of course, it had to be Unikitty and Cyber because they're part of the team. And here we get to see the Lego version of myself for the first time in God knows how long. And, I just had myself being the Zebedee of this episode, like saying how a hole is exciting, and the whole thing about me saying I'm going to have to write an episode about this is really just taking the mick out of how I actually wrote an episode about it. Like how I actually did an episode a second ago about it. Yeah. And that's really about it for this one. And yeah, like it said in the video, if you want to see the Magic Roundabout be released on DVD, then sign the petition, which is in the description below this video and the original video. Cheerio!